Yeah, I am back. Gonna be streaming regular. Welcome back, Timothy Aulana. It was due to health reasons that I was not able to stream, and I'm now trying to set up the multi-stream so I can stream on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok live at the same time. So give me a while to test it, and I think the real stream will start at like 18 tonight. Okay. It's not working for YouTube vertical. Because I did figure out that you can stream like in landscape and in vertical mode on YouTube at the same time, so you get pushed in YouTube Shorts as well. I do have to figure out how to do that fully. Okay. I guess we can already do a little intro. Most of the stuff should work now. Just let's do a quick sound check. If there's any issue with the stream itself, let me know regarding the sound quality. So when we are creating a build in Diablo 4, there's like certain things that we do have to cover to make like a successful build. And one topic is we need to be tanky, we need to survive. We need to have single target DPS to take down bosses. We need to have AoE damage. And the reason why we need to focus on both here is the new mode is called Infernal Hordes. And in that mode, we will actually we will have to fight like waves of monsters coming to us, as well as we have to fight bosses after each wave. So we need a good mix out of it. CC could also be seen as tankiness. So we need to find different options how to apply CC to have like an oh shit moment and stuff. We need to figure out how our resources are being dealt. If we are only able to cast like a couple Hydras and that's the only mana that we need to use, no? Then it's going to be easy to solve. If we are going into a direction where we want to use the Hydra enchantment, which gives us extra Hydras based on the amount of mana that we are spending, then we have to put like a heavy focus on this topic. And mobility, yeah, well, it's a sorcerer, right? I cannot believe that it's going to be a build that does not have teleport inside. And to apply vulnerable as another damage source, we also need to have different different opportunities on how to actually do that. So if we are looking here in the Wowhead overview, this is the freshly data mined information of everything that came live, that is going to be live on the PTR. And we are seeing here that Andariels Visage, which was already quite powerful, is having a decent increase in the poison damage. And my general idea of a build was actually a sorcerer that is using Hydra and to proc the lucky hit on the Andariels Visage. And the reason why I think that might be possible as a build and will deal a shit ton of damage is the option that we can temper lucky hit chance onto our Hydra. Because if we are looking here on the Hydra, it only has 3%. So without that temper, I would have said it's actually impossible that we are able to get like the Hydra in any form of state that will make Andariels worth it. But with those tempers, we are getting a shit ton of Hydra lucky hit chance onto our Hydra. But what we have to test once the PTR is live is actually the option here. If the Hydra is getting it as an additional effect, so will the lucky hit, like that's like the average run without a tempering here, it's 6%, and will that make our Hydra go up to 9 lucky hit chance, or will it be increasing the 3% by 6%? This is a major factor that we have to test. Another major factor that we have to test when we are talking about tankiness, because we could be solving the tankiness with the ice armor, but there is a new change that might kill this option here. Let me get the change for you online so you know what I'm talking about. So and this is this part here. No longer gains increased shield based on damage. So it will not be possible to leech in that version. Not sure how this is going to turn out. So we do have to test the new interactions of ice armor. But let's start from the topic. So ice armor needs to be tested. Then something that I already did test is if pyromancy attack speed is actually scaling on the Hydra. And on the current live server, it's not. So normal attack speed works for Hydra, but pyromancy attack speed does not work. This is why I think that the lucky hit chance might be an option. If lucky hit chance is not being applied on the Hydra on top of the lucky hit chance it has, then I am pretty sure Andariels Visage will not be like the way to go. And we are more likely going to play with the Crown of Lucian. Because here we are having an insane scaling if we are spending primary resource. It does not have to be like a core skill. So we could put that into a Hydra build maybe without having to use a core skill. Or it's gonna be like not a plain Hydra build, and it's more like a frozen orb build where we are spawning Hydras as a site. But I hope that is not the direction we have to go, because I would really like to play a pure Hydra conjuration build, because I think it's gonna be more fun. Another option could also be the God Slayer Crown right here, where we are having a 60% increased damage multiplier, and when we are going through elites to elites, and we are having those waves that will fit like into the normal flow, so when it comes to the elites we will have that effect up running. Yeah, let's talk about another option for the tankiness, and I think that the Theorycrafting might be pretty decent. So if we can work it out, so we are having the barriers up, we will constantly be almost at full life. If we are not at full life and we are applying burning damage with our Hydra through this aspect, we will be able to heal with this passive right here. So our options with potions and stuff to stay at 100% health is quite high. So I think that the Theorycrafting Might is a great damage reduction item, cause you can usually only go to 70% damage reduction from the elements. But if you're using the Theorycrafting Might and you're getting a greater affix roll on maximum resistance and you masterwork it, you will get 15% extra on top. And that means 85%. And that does not mean that you're taking 15% less damage. That means you're taking 50% less damage, because from the 30 you're now removing 15, and that actually translates to taking 50% less damage in the game itself. And a side effect is that we are also dealing damage while we are having the Theorycrafting Might on there. So that could be interesting. Another thing that's interesting is actually the new boots, and those are called Rakanov's Wake. And what's making them great is actually the fact that they have attacks reduce evades cooldown. This is like the best side affix any boots can have, so you have them by default. It's really nice. And it has cooldown reduction, which is I think needed, that we have an item where we can place cooldown reduction in, cause offhands now have cooldown reduction moved as their side effect, and you can only roll it. So it might be needed that we have that extra source of cooldown reduction now. Another thing is we have to check how the interactions are going to work with the weapon. So the the Serpentine aspect, if you're putting it on a 2-hand weapon, will you maybe get 2 additional Hydras or not? I don't know yet. And I didn't bother to check. Also, we are having another thing that's quite interesting. Cause, if I remember correctly, a Hydra can use your shrine effects. So if you're having the all shooting all arrows shrine onto your Hydra, it will pop it. So where was that? Here. Here he is. Because this new unique spear, it was actually quite useless. But now we are having a damage over time effect, which makes it somewhat viable because we need it. Critical strike chance I think is useless. Attack speed though is really nice. And chance to stun is also fine. It's not like the best damage weapon, but if we are able to get the all arrow onto all of our Hydras, and this a new effect allows us to stack the shrine effect, then we even have an overlapping effect. So basically we could have 30 seconds of a shrine, and then we are having 10 seconds where we are having 2 shrine effects, so 20, and then again 10. So it will overlap, and that might be enough to make it viable in the Hydra build. I will test it out. So Ice Armor and Andariels Might is tankiness. And for the boss damage, the Hydra plus additional heads is basically what we are going for. The AoE will be solved by Andariels. The CC and the vulnerable one, I found an option that might be able to solve both of it. And this is the Frost Nova enchantment. I've never played with that. I don't know if it's good or anything. But if we are going full lucky hit to proc Andariels, so it would make sense to have another lucky hit thing. Because if we are skilling in the skill tree, that our Frost Nova reduces its cooldown, is applying vulnerable right here on the Frost Nova, then I believe that all the conjurations apply a Frost Nova that give us CC and vulnerable at the same time. So we don't need to have like vulnerable application issues. It could be that Ice plates, I would say ice plates can pretty reliably hold up vulnerable against a single target like a boss. But if you're fighting elites or larger troops of monsters, we will not be able to do this. So I believe that this might be necessary, but we also have other options that we need to consider. Because on a ring right here, we could also roll the stat lucky hit chance to apply vulnerable. And maybe this is a better choice. I don't know yet, but then we are not having any CC on the build. So I like that option because it gives CC and vulnerable at the same time. Also, we do have Lightning Spear in it to apply vulnerable and get like 1 extra conjuration, but I'm not sure if this is the correct way to go. Like, I'm pretty sure that Ice Plates and Hydra is going to be in there and those defensive skills. I am not sure if Lightning Spear will be in the final build, but I'm open to all changes. The reason why Lightning Spear might not be necessary is the where is it? There, the Fractured Winter class. We could make conjurations shoot frozen orbs and like stack them on them just for the lucky hit to launch frozen orb at nearby enemies. With frozen orb we could also get vulnerable ready, because it's the same as the frost nova. We could go here into frozen orb, scaling, and then use the greater frozen orb to apply vulnerable. This could also be an option. So those are our options for vulnerable. So it's frost nova, lucky hit, affix on ring, and frozen orb plus fractured winter class. If we are at fractured winter class, we will lose Hydra lucky hit chance, tempering, Hydra damage on our amulet. So we have to see what is worth more here. If we are, yeah, so let's go back. For mana, I'm not sure, because if Andariels might still need other damage reduction to be fine. So I think we will need pants that will give us damage reduction for our tankiness. But I could also see that this might be a T-Ball's will, because that could solve our mana. CC is Frost Nova. Another option for CC that we could go for is actually immobilize with fire. So we have here the option. Your pyromancy skills have up to a 7 chance to immobilize enemies for 2 seconds, and this chance is doubled while you are healthy. And if we are able to keep up the barrier, we will be healthy all the time. So this could be quite interesting here. And another thing to solve our mana is actually Conjuration Mastery. So for every conjuration we will get 6 mana regen. But if we are looking at the amulet, we can actually get ranks to Conjuration Mastery quite high up. And I think that's what my current idea is, that actually Conjuration Mastery is enough to take care of your mana issues. If it's not enough, we could always go with a lucky hit chance to regain resources onto our offhand, for example. So we have Frost Nova, offhand, resource, lucky hit as an option, and oh wait, this is the wrong line, it's mana. And then we are having, what did I say? Starless Skies, the ring that we could test, but I don't believe it's good unless, let me show you the one enchantment right here. Unless we are having that Hydra enchantment and we are going on to spending mana like crazy just to spawn Hydras. We do have to test if those 5-headed Hydras are stackable with the Hydra Heads that you're getting onto your weapon. If that is possible, that Hydra there will have 10 additional heads onto her. So it's like 15 head Hydra that you can spawn by spending 200 mana. So maybe Hydra will not even be on our list right here. You will never pop it by yourself. It will probably be like you're just having one heavy mana spender really going for mana regen, and you just pop out the Hydras as a side effect. Yeah, this is about it, what I want to be testing. All right, here, I did not write down the immobilize. Mobilize Yeah, passive, and there's also a legendary aspect that gives you immobilize if you pass through enemies and stuff like this. Maybe we can use something like this, where you just like don't need it for the trash mobs, but you can go into the elites, for example, with your flame shield and proc it onto them. Then I did take a look at a Hydra build that I already found online. This one is from Vudio, and I think he did not test yet if Pyromancy attack speed is actually affecting it, because he is having it in there. And he's going for a Firebolt, and he already put the Hydra enchantment in there. I'm not sure if he already knows if it's like spawning additionally or not, but yeah, I'm also not sure which planner is correct, because here the Hydra additional burn damage is set as 60% on the max roll planner, and here in the D4 planner, if I'm going on the same skill, oops, it's currently saying 100% of its base damage dealt over 6 seconds. So I'm not sure. We also have to test how critical strike chance is affecting the Hydra, because dots cannot critically strike, but attack speed is affecting them to tick faster. So if you have more attack speed, you're dealing more damage over the 6 seconds basically. It's also the reason why I did not put any critical strike chance onto my gear, because I don't think it will be necessary if we're going on the damage over time Hydras only. Regarding the Paragon board, we are having the how to say it, the Burning Instinct, which basically increases our burning damage by our critical strike bonus, and for every 50% intelligence. We will most likely ignore the critical strike damage bonus here, and I've tried to focus onto intelligence. So on the gear, I put intelligence wherever it is possible as a multiplier. And oops. And what I also want to test, well, I think like that one is like 100% in there, that our conjuration skills have 10% reduced cooldown or mana cost, and they also deal extra damage based on the amount of bonus damage that we are having with fire, lightning, and cold. And we are having fire, lightning, and cold in there. Our teleport is dealing lightning. Well, obviously we are dealing fire damage with the Hydras, but we are also having cold damage with the ice plates. Then something I do want to test here is the enchantment are 20% stronger. So maybe there is like an interaction with the Hydra enchantment right here. Like, what is the 20% applying on? Huh? Will it reduce the mana? Will it increase the heads of the Hydra? I want to see how this interaction is going. And then if critical strike chance stacking for Hydra, so basically the Hydra is dealing the damage, not going for burn, actually going for critical strike chance, maybe also Izu's boots to get to 100%, maybe Izu's ferocity to get to 100%. No? If that is all possible, then Searing Heat will probably be the way to go. Yeah, other than that, I think the Paragon board is not that like not that important. What we do need, like for sure, is like cleaves like Conjurer, where we have increased duration and skill damage. The increased duration will automatically mean less mana cost in case this is an issue. Right, where's the other one that I wanted to talk about? Yep. This one, I believe, is also going to be a must-have. I know it's a defensive one, maybe not that exciting, but we are lacking damage reduction in that build, and if we want to clear higher shit, I think we will need it. So we will have to invest once into a damage reduction cleave right here. What we're also probably going to use is the Tactician, because we will have a lot of defensive skills for sure in that build, and we can get the easy 10%. If we are going for the burning build, then Torch will definitely be in the Paragon board. If we are going into the direction that we want to spam mana for like getting the effect going and only spawning those 5-headed Hydras over and over and over and over with the enchantment, then we definitely will need Unleash in there. So we are getting increased damage for all the mana that we are spending and the additional mana regen to actually keep pressing that button down. So and if we keep pressing the button down, we are going full onto attack speed, and we can keep the mana regen at max attack speed cap, then it's going to be really nice. Yeah, those are my thoughts so far, and I think now we just need to have the PTR coming up, because I don't know what else to say so far, and I have not gotten any complaints regarding the voice sound quality, so I think the new setup should be working decently. Yeah, if there's any feedback you would like to give, feel free to give it in the chat. I think I will be online, back online again as soon as the PTR hits, and go walk my doggo and eat something, so I'll be ready for the stream later. Thanks for joining in the quick little test of the new setup. And